Hey, today I'd like to talk about Vipassana meditation. So recently I have completed my second 10-day silent meditation retreat, Vipassana meditation retreat, which is quite an experience. So the meditation technique itself was developed by Buddha, and it comes from northern India from thousands of years ago. And it's quite simple meditation technique. You basically have to scan your whole body and try to feel the sensations happening around it. The idea behind it is to help you to change your old mind patterns. One of the concepts in this meditation is a concept of sankhara. Sankhara, translated in English, could be probably named as an impression. So an impression on any action that has taken place and you have participated in it. So for example, you were walking down the street, well, this is an extreme example, but you were walking down the street and you didn't hear the car and it came around you and it hit you and you got injured. So that action left an impression of you on you, right? Next time you're walking down the street, you're probably walking around and kind of looking more cautiously because you remember this action has happened to you before, and now you remember you are more cautious regarding the situation. So this sankhara has been left inside of you, like it was recorded within your mind and your body as well. And so these sankharas, they have various depths to it. Some of them are really light. So for example, if you take light as taking a stick and just brushing it through the water, you make this little line, but then the water disperses it and the line disappears. And some of these sankharas can be a little bit harder on you. So like, take a stick and draw a line in the sand on the beach. It stays there for a while, and then the wave comes and the line disappears. And the other ones, they can be like really deep. So take a chisel and carve it in the stone, make a line, and it will probably stay there for quite a while. So coming back to the example of the car hitting you, this might be quite a strong sankhara because it really affected you. It hit you. You felt pain, and so now you have this impression deeply embedded in you. And so these sankharas are not necessarily just bad impressions. It could be the same with good impressions. So it's anything to do with sensual organs, sensual inputs. You would eat an ice cream and you would feel the taste, and the taste is amazing, and you feel it. You start loving this ice cream. You lick it, you eat it, you start craving for it because it's so nice and you want more of it. And so you develop this craving for the good things, which is type of sankhara. The beauty of technique is that it teaches us not to react to these past conditioning that we had, these sankharas that we have, because you have to sit down quietly. You're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to read. You're not allowed to entertain yourself in any way. You become really quiet, and because you meditate so much, your mind gets quieter. Your reactions to the world, you become more aware. And so for the first 3 days, and the way this technique works is that you spend the 3 days in the beginning kind of sitting there and just breathing, right? You try to just become aware of your breath, right? So you spend 3 days, around 30 hours in total, just focusing on your breath. And the more you do it, the more you become aware of the touch of the breath. Like, so you focus on this area here and you become aware of the air coming in and out, touching your nostrils or your upper lip. And so you spend time doing that, and after a while you start to notice some different sensations, not just the air coming in and out, but you start to feel these chemical reactions, which makes sense, because if you think about it, if you take a microscope and you zoom in into any place on your body, and so take the skin for example, if you zoom in with a microscope, you see that there are millions of different cells, your hair cells, your skin, your oil cells, whatever, your meat, your bone, your flesh, there's millions of cells which are interacting every second. They are being born, some of them are dying, everything is changing every single moment, right? And so the technique teaches us to not to react to these sensations in any way, right? Because when you react to that old sankhara, that is our old conditioning, that's our old habit pattern in the mind, and so we tend to avert the pain. If we feel pain, then our natural reaction is to push it, like, oh, I don't want this pain, I don't like this. So coming back to the example, if you were hit by the car, you probably don't want to get hit again, right? And so you become super cautious, maybe too much cautious, because you want to avoid this pain. Same with the ice cream, you eat the ice cream and you want more of that ice cream, and you start to react not to the ice cream itself, but to the impression on your mind that the ice cream had, right? You start to crave for it. And the whole idea of the technique is to not to react to anything that happens to you. So, you spend 10 days sitting there meditating. Oh, and after you've done the 3 days of noticing your breath, you start at this point you don't just feel the breath, but you feel the sensations happening on your body. And then so you start scanning your body from top of the head to down to your legs. You go through each of individual parts, and you try to feel these sensations and not react to them. And so by not reacting, we are slowly changing our habit pattern. It's very crazy, and I don't know how it works, or why it works that way. But once you stop generating these new sankharas, the old ones tend to come out of you, of your mind, of your body, and you're scanning the body, you're focusing on, for example, your shoulder, and you try, your awareness goes to that place, and you're kind of just focusing, and then there's pain in your shoulder, for example, right? And you're supposed to be okay with it. You're supposed to not react to the pain. And if you manage to do it, amazing things happen. Like, I had some deep insights which came out of me being okay with the present moment, me not reacting to any pleasant sensations and any unpleasant sensations. Some deep rooted kind of these deep sankharas that I had within me, which I wasn't even aware of. They just popped out in my mind, and they were just brought up to light. It's incredible, actually. But I've realized that I still have a lot of work and to do with the balancing out of not reacting or not craving, especially not craving to the good sensations, because you might get some pleasant sensations. You get some energy flowing through your arm or your body, and the conditioned mind instantly reacts to it, and it's like. So I had an experience where I felt some light energy movements, because my mind got so sharp, and you feel these sensations, and the more you do it, the more active they become. So I had a moment where I felt a flow of energy, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. And the moment I did that, I started it stopped, and then I was like, wow, why this is not happening again? I want it to happen. I started to crave for that thing. I started to crave for this experience. And so the idea of the meditation is to stop these old habit patterns, these reactions to past impressions. So one realization that I had was you have to sit there for an hour at a time without moving a thing. There's immense pain in my legs, in my back. I have to, do the scanning. And, while I was doing it, I realized that I am deeply lazy person. Like, I am such a lazy person who's not willing to put in the work to actually do the scans and be okay with no sensations or be okay with pain. Like, I was this person. I realized that I am this person who just wants to feel good all the time, feel pleasant sensations. If there's something unpleasant or hard, I don't want it. I push it away. This just was brought up to my my awareness, and I started to noticing this, and I was like, wow, like I am a super lazy person, and I need to work on this. Another realization was that again with the pain, I was really struggling with the pain in my legs, and I was hating the situation. I was like, oh, this is horrible. Like, why am I doing this? Like, this is painful. This is hard, and I was having aversion to this pain. But once I pushed through this, I got this insight that I've been doing this in most areas of my life. Like, I've been living it this way. Like, I was fighting the reality. Like, if there something would happen in my life which I didn't like, I would be fighting against it. I would be pushing it away, and I would be causing pain to myself, to others around me, without me even being aware of it. That was incredible, actually. Like, I've understood it so deeply that I shouldn't be fighting the life. I shouldn't be fighting the pain. I should accept it and move on, and work with it and be okay with it. Another experience I had again with pain is that I was observing this pain, and I was still, my old habit pattern was complaining about this pain. I was like, oh, this is horrible. I hate this. I don't want this. Like, it's really hard. It's really painful. I don't want this. Like, why is this happening to my leg? Why? Like, it seemed like everyone around me just sat still while I was in immense pain. This realization came to me, like, why am I complaining? Like, who's there to listen? Who's there to listen to my complaining? Like, I am in this body, I am this person, and why am I complaining here in my head? Who's there to listen? Who's this thing that is complaining, and who's that thing who's aware of this pain and who's aware of this complaining? It was a really deep realization that I am not this pain, and there is pain and there is me, the awareness, and I should be okay with it. I should go through all sorts of experiences and not cling to them, not react to them, and hopefully I could come out of them in a better way. And so this avoidance of the pain has actually stopped me to achieve many things in life. I've noticed this, I've learned this, I understood this deeply while I was in the meditation. It's truly incredible. And obviously these experiences are my personal experiences which I had within me. I had these deep sankharas within me, and I know that there is many more to come, and I do have loads of them which I need to work on. But the first step is always the most important. And without this technique I wouldn't even known, I wouldn't not understood these things. Because when someone comes up to you and says, hey, you're lazy or you're mean, that you can take it in and be like, yeah, okay, you might be right, but that's just like an intellectual understanding. It's not an experiential thing. And by doing this meditation, I have experienced these things. Like, they would just come up out of me and be like, whoa, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, why did you behave this way? Why are you this lazy, angry person? And now it doesn't make sense now, but I am who I am, right? And it's really good to bring out these things and kind of notice and learn about yourself. And I really believe that this can help me grow, and I believe that this technique can actually help others to grow and drop the pain that they carry with them. Hence why I'm making this video. So you know, if you have any questions about the technique, or you know, you want to know more about the retreats, message me, or you know, leave a comment down below. I will put the links in the description so you can check out this organization. You know, the meditation retreats are free. They give you food, they give you accommodation. The only thing that you need is 10 days of your life to kind of go through it, and you know, thanks for listening, and may all of you be happy.